Well, good morning, Chicago. You're listening to Inspirational Perspective. I'm your host, Linal Harris, Chicago's very own life coach, right here on WBON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago. Inspirational Perspective on your radio is all about murdering mediocrity and living the best life possible. So as I ask you, or I'll be asking you every Sunday morning, are you living the best life possible? And this is the place to be, to explore that opportunity. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. And welcome to the first Sunday of 2018. And I tell you, it's a blessing, an honor, privilege to be with you this morning. My name is Linal Harris, the host of Inspirational Perspective, and I'm excited to be with you during this new day and this new time for the Inspirational Perspective show to start off 2018. So super excited about that. And let me tell you something, just to start off the show. For those of you who may not know that much about me, if you are interested in having a successful, goal-oriented year, then I want you to go out to slayyourgoals.com and download a free copy of my book titled Slay Your Goals. So you can learn more about who Linal Harris is, but not just that. But in learning more about who I am, you can also learn how to set goals, clearly define what success looks like for you. And I share 5 tips for achieving your goals in the future. Okay? So what you'll learn is that my purpose is your success. That's what I'm here for. And I'm looking forward to this new time frame where we can spend a lot more time talking about life, a lot more time talking about what success looks like, and what it is that we all need to be doing to live the best life possible. Now, also you can go out to the Inspirational Perspective Facebook page if you haven't before, and you can go out there, like the page, so that way you can receive similar inspiration and information like this throughout the week. And if you're a social media enthusiast, you can join me via live streaming video. Many have already. And you can join me via live streaming video on Facebook Live or Periscope. So go ahead and do that right now to get your morning start as you pour that cup of coffee or that cup of tea. And since 2011, I've always taken the time at the end of the year, going into the beginning of the year, to compile my observations of the previous year, to kick off the new year. And this is something I've done personally. I've shared this on my blog at inspirationalperspective.com. And today, what I'd like to do, I'd like for us to have a conversation about the observations that we've made in 2017. Now, here's something I firmly believe, and I've shared this before, but one of the things that we have to do in order to powerfully create in the future is we have to be aware and reflect on, one, who we are, who we were, and what it is we're trying to create moving forward and what that gap is. Now, in terms of the observations I'll be making for 2017, they're much larger observations in the grand scheme of what's happening in the United States of America. But one of the things that we can be thinking about as we cover this is how did this impact me, if it did, may not have, and how will I handle something like this in the future, and what does it mean for the future? So as we're moving forward, this morning, I want you to be asking yourself those questions, all right? So the topic this morning is observing 2017 to live the dream in 2018. And I'll be asking you 2 questions. One, I've already asked, what are your 2017 observations? And the second is, what will you create on your clean canvas for 2018? Because the beautiful thing about new is new always provides us a brand new canvas on which to operate, on which to create, and we have that opportunity. The very first Sunday in 2018, what will you create and what will you be doing? All right. So give me a phone call, 773-591-1690, to ask your questions, to share your thoughts and comments. Would love to hear from you, even if it's just to say Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to all of you again. And with that, I have 10 observations. So although we're going to 9 a.m., I think with some dialogue, it could take quite a bit of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the observations that I've made for 2017, and look forward to whatever comments that you guys have. All right. Now, I firmly believe that in order to adequately and accurately navigate our future, that we have to be aware of the afflictions of the past, the wins of the past, and the past in general, okay? So to kick off today's show, I'm going to share my top 10 observations. And number 10 is Amazon buying Whole Foods. That's number 10. As a matter of fact, I'm going to run through the entire list, so that way as you're listening, you can kind of queue up and say, all right, I know I want to call in during that period, okay? So here is the top 10 that I have, okay? Number 10 being Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods. There's something I definitely want to share about that and how it impacts us as a community. Number 9 is cryptocurrency. If you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, you definitely want to hold on and listen to my take on cryptocurrency. We'll talk about Charlottesville. We'll talk about the California fires. And then Colin Kaepernick and the NFL. I definitely have a take on that. The hurricanes of 2017. And then hashtag Me Too. If you don't know what that means, I don't know where you've been. But we'll talk about that. I call it the 2017, the year of the woman. And number 3, global warming, that I think often, it's very easy for us to forget about. Number 2, North Korea. And number 1, President Donald Trump. All right, so those are the top 10. So what I want to do now is just, as the phone calls are coming in, I want to go and chat about Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods, because this was a big time acquisition that I believe will change the future of how we buy food. And the Amazon purchase of Whole Foods, it wasn't the biggest deal in terms of money for 2017. It was I believe $13.7 billion. Okay. But Amazon Incorporated buying Whole Foods will sure change the grocery game well into the foreseeable future. Now, how do I know that? 1, because it changed the game already in 2017. Grocery stocks for other organizations were down in comparison to the prices going into 2017. And companies like Kroger, which is a large grocery chain here in the States, fared even worse. One of the reports I saw is that their stock dropped about almost 36% as a result of this acquisition. Amazon stock is up on investor expectations that they will lower the food prices at Whole Foods, and making healthier groceries more attractive to the average shopper. Now, Jeff Wilk, who's the CEO at World Consumer of Amazon.com, was quoted as saying, "We're determined to make healthy and organic food affordable for everyone." So, in my opinion, this is great news for the millions of people who live in underserved communities throughout the United States that are considered urban deserts. Why? Because for the first time, because of technology via Amazon, they may soon be provided with the relief of healthy fruits and healthy vegetables in a way that they did not have access to in the past. So, number 10 for me, Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods. All right, I got Frank. Frank, how are you, man? Good morning.
Oh, good morning, my brother. And a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
My brother, this may come with a different kind of twist, but you asked what to say, what you observed, what you've been observed about 2017.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying just like this. I observed that the black man has not done nothing once again to stop or reverse the internal and external forces that have displaced him as the head of his household. If you cannot be the head of your household, how can you be the head of our community? What I plan to do about it, outside of write a book, or reach out to someone to write a book, I'm going to contact some of my leaders, like Minister Farrakhan for one thing, Bangley, and hope we can get a million-man march that's just for men and men only and their sons. And we need to cover this and reveal this, because only going to stop it and take back, not beg back, not cry back, but take back opposition to the household. It has to be a united front. We are the only race of men that's been attacked internally and externally. And it's done on purpose. That's my observation for 2017.
I think it's a good observation. You say you.
And we're doing nothing about it. We're sitting back like we rolled over.
Well, I don't know that collectively we're not doing anything about it. I think that, when you talk about terms of majority, I agree with you. But you do have pockets of black men who are definitely looking to step forward and change that scenario.
You're right. Let me rephrase a little bit. This not counting our Muslim men, our Muslim brothers, or our Catholic brothers, for good reasons. I can't take up a lot of time on your airway because I know you got other callers calling in, but for good reason. Now, you are aware there is an internal and external attack on us. That has just
I meant for it has been for a very long time, so I do agree with you on that.
Yes, it has.
Now you said you were writing a book.
I'm going to put together the resources to write a book
for
this year, and hopefully it'll reach enough men. I think it will.
Okay. By when will you have the book done, brother?
Okay. I can't actually say that until I actually talk to a publisher and someone who will help guide me, because I want to have all my resources and fact down pat. But it shouldn't take long.
Okay. Wait.
I know exactly which direction to go.
All right. So that you know who you're talking to, I believe in declaring. Doesn't matter if you know how. I believe in declaring, especially when you're talking about something powerful like what you're talking about, a book that will help brothers. So if you're willing, are you willing to declare when that book will be done?
Okay. I put it like this. It'll be done by the end of the year.
I love it. Thank you for the phone call, Frank, and thank you for the contribution, man.
Thank you.
All right. Frank on the line there. Okay, I got someone else here. How you doing? What's your name?
Good morning, Minister Clark.
Okay.
Yes, sir. How you feel?
I'm good. Yes, sir.
Thank God, Brother Harris, for you and all WVON staff, too. We love you. Happy New Year's.
I appreciate that.
Happy Kwanzaa to you. We're going to be doing, what I reflected on last year is the same that we're going to be reflecting on this year, which is the Honorable Mayor Harold Washington's parade, which is the Peace Parade.
Okay.
Promoting peace, love, and unity in the community. Everybody can help stop the violence, robbing, stealing, and killing. And for more information, brothers and sisters can go to the Harold Washington Foundation.com or the HaroldWashingtonFoundation.org. And we have jobs and businesses, so I'm focusing on entrepreneurs, and they can reach me direct at 312-671-2773. And that cryptocurrency, I'm going to definitely, absolute positively reflecting on cryptocurrency. Today, I'd like to invite you, Brother Harris, and WBON listening audience, which is my brothers and sisters, to the Bitcoin. That's also cryptocurrency and crowdfunding.
Yeah, well, cryptocurrency is number 9 on my list. That's actually the next thing I'm going to cover, man.
Okay, I understand. I just want to invite you anyway to the House of Bling at 6930 South Shore Drive today and be my special guest. We're going to be sharing success, breed success, which is at 3 to 5 o'clock. We'll be there. Cryptocurrency was the Bitcoin can be valued at $500,000 or even $1 million, just one Bitcoin.
That's true.
So I'm going to be spreading truth, freedom, justice, equality, and economics. Dr. Will Evans is my godfather.
Okay.
And I want to give a shout out to the family of Herbert Lee Hedsman and invite them too, because they the brother passed and he's an entrepreneur, and he also was the sponsor of WBON, the BS show, which is Bob's Shaw Show. That comes on at 2 o'clock on Sundays. So I wanted to invite all of the family members, business associates, and friends of WBON and Mr. Herbert Lee Hedsman. Because he was an entrepreneur too. Matter of fact, he was a 23 like you and me.
Okay.
And Michael Jordan ain't the only 23.
I like that. I like that. Well, Minister, thank you. Thank you so much for the information, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call, and happy New Year. All right, so got a few more callers. Again, you can give us a phone call, 773-591-1690. But with that, I'm going to go to number 9. And Richard, I see you there. Get to you in a moment. But let's talk about cryptocurrency. He brought up cryptocurrency. Let's talk about cryptocurrency. That's number 9 on my list for 2017. And for those of you listening, I want you to listen to the numbers I'm about to share with you in terms of cryptocurrency. And we are living, in my opinion, in a beautiful time for individuals who are financially aware, okay, to begin making an investment in what I believe will be the currency of tomorrow. Okay, so cryptocurrency came bursting on the scene in 2017. Now, it didn't just start. It started in 2008. But it came bursting on the scene in 2017 when Bitcoin surged more than 1,500%. All right. Now, it wasn't just Bitcoin, by the way, that experienced this type of a surge. Ether, which trades on the Ethereum blockchain. If you don't know what blockchain means, I want you to start writing some of this stuff down. All right, write down blockchain. Do some Googling to really understand what some of these terms mean. Okay, but Ether, which trades on the Ethereum blockchain, rose more than 5,400% in 2017. Okay, and now to put this in perspective, Ether ended 2016 at $8.03 and is currently trading at about $1,000 a coin. Currently trading at about $1,000 a coin. Now, excuse me. In terms of Ether itself, this is, you have Bitcoin. Ether is probably the biggest competitor for Bitcoin based on its market cap. And I'm going to cover the market caps for some of these coins in a moment. All right. Now, other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash, IOTA, which is spelled IOTA, Ripple, Dash, Litecoin, Bitcoin Gold, Monero, and Cardano also experienced similar trajectories in 2017 in terms of growth. Okay. And here's the other thing I want to mention about these coins. Each of these cryptocurrencies that I mentioned above have market caps well over $1 billion. Okay. So let me put this in perspective for you. With Bitcoin's cap being over 250 billion. All right. So Bitcoin's cap is over 250 billion. And Cardano, which is the lowest of the group, right? Not of all cryptocurrency, but the lowest of the group. Their market cap is over $3 billion. All right. So those alternative coins and Bitcoins that I just shared with you have experienced explosive growth in 2017. And by the way, I believe that they're poised to do the same thing in 2018. Now, why is that on my list? It's on my list because I know when it comes to our community, one of the things we talk about is, the economic depression that we've been in for quite some time. We talk about the lack of opportunity, and cryptocurrency is providing a financial opportunity that is equitable for everyone. Okay. Right now Bitcoin is trading. I think last night I looked, it was about 16.5, almost $17,000 a coin. All right. You don't have to buy a whole coin. You can buy a percentage of a coin. And as it rises, experience the growth, very much like we do with stock. Okay. So learn what you can. There are a lot of groups online right now on Periscope. I keep seeing Bitcoin Heart, Altcoin Heart, because there are a lot of investors out there who are online watching, and they are currently involved in cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, if you're on Periscope or if you're on Facebook and you're involved in cryptocurrency, I love to see the hearts, so that way I can get an idea of, how involved all of you are in cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency is one of the observations I made for 2017. I believe it's information that we all need to have. It's something, and the hearts are coming in, by the way, and it's something that we need to know about. Okay. So my gift to you this Sunday morning, if you haven't looked into cryptocurrency, my suggestion is that you do, and that you learn everything that you can about it. All right. Okay. We'll go to number 8, but first, Richard, good morning. How are you? Happy New Year.
Hey, good morning, Brother Harris. One, I want to go back to your first point, which is about Whole Food and Amazon.
Okay.
On July 23rd, I made the decision to become a vegan.
All right.
And so it was for health reasons and all kind of reasons. But to make a long story short.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Since that time, I lost 65 pounds.
I believe you.
And a lot of my food I buy and purchase at Whole Foods.
Okay.
Because I'm on a strictly whole food, plant-based diet, right?
Right.
So this week, for the first time, I ordered the same products that I buy from Whole Foods online from Amazon, because I have an Amazon Prime membership.
Uh-huh.
So all my shipping and stuff is free. When I tell you that I pay 33 to 25% less on Amazon than I do at Whole Foods, you just got to know that.
Oh,
the other thing that happened was I was waiting on my delivery because I didn't know it was going to take only 2 days to get to me. Mm-hmm. I went into Whole Foods, and my wife and I were getting on the elevator, and we noticed that on the elevator at Whole Foods in Hyde Park, there were 6 people on the elevator with us. They were all African American.
Yeah.
And so we're getting hip to what diet is really doing to our health.
Yes.
And our fitness and our mental state.
Yes.
One of the other results that came of changing my diet is that, I swim 4 to 5 miles a week now. I'm doing water aerobics 3 days a week. And I'm walking 10,000 steps a day now.
That's beautiful.
And so the benefits of changing my diet has not only impacted me, physically, but mentally and spiritually. I'm in a totally different place.
I can believe it.
On your new topic, man, this whole thing with Bitcoin and this cryptocurrency, This is a powerful topic. This is definitely one of the things that came up on my radar as I encourage people to increase their MIQ, which is our money intelligence quotient.
Yeah.
One of the things that we clearly don't understand about America is how America functions. And now as the world gets smaller with a global marketplace, we really have to begin to understand other ways of making money rather than going to a 9-to-5 every day.
Absolutely.
And so this whole conversation about cryptocurrency, I just want to thank you for that, because I've been looking at Bitcoin. I keep hearing about Bitcoin. But these other pieces that you introduced this morning, I definitely was not aware of. Definitely said I was going to do some research on Forex and Bitcoin. And so now as the world becomes smaller, we can look at these other markets.
Yep.
You're absolutely 100% right. Our opportunities for financial growth are so just off the chain.
Oh, man. Like never before. And by the way, for listeners, the Forex market is a currency market. So when he said Forex is the currency market where you can trade the U.S. dollar against the New Zealand Kiwi, or you can trade the U.S. dollar against the yen, etc. So I just want to make sure everybody was following you, brother. Go ahead.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to just talk about real briefly is, I'm going to jump up to number one because this is real important to me. I just put a post up on Facebook about the importance of us owning businesses. I've been talking to our people for years, man, about making the transition from sharecroppers to shareholders.
Yes.
And really understanding what has happened with this new tax reform bill.
Yes.
And one of the things I hope it forces us to do as I reflect on 2017 is I really hope that it forces us to set up our own corporations. The corporations and wealthy individuals, if you're not making $250,000 a year or more, this new tax reform is not even going to impact you, right?
Not at all.
And so it's time for us to become wealthy, because what they just did was they basically gave wealthy people a $1.2 trillion or $1.5 trillion tax break.
Yes.
That's as much money as black folks spend annually.
Now, Richard, let me tell you this, because what you just said was really powerful. And one of the things that happens is we react to what's happening to us versus plan for it. And when I heard that this tax bill was going through the House and the Senate, I started looking into it, and I wanted to know how much money will I need to make in 2018 to experience tax cuts. So you get where I'm going. Well, how much do my business, my wife's business, how much do we need to make together? So that way we can experience the benefits of this bill. So that way I'm not sitting back at effect of it saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe this just happened. I can't believe they just passed this legislation. But instead I'm saying, well, you know what? How can I benefit from this? And let it motivate and inspire me to do more. So that way I can experience the same benefits that they're looking to, those who wrote the bill are looking to experience as well.
Absolutely. One of the other things I want to encourage people to do, brother, is this. I've had a conversation this week with people about, we have a mindset where we want to make less money so that we don't have to pay more tax.
Oh, man. Right? Hit it.
That is totally anti-anything in terms of building wealth. That is not a proven or effective wealth strategy.
Not at all.
What wealthy people do is they make more money and they spend more money so they don't have to pay more taxes, right?
There you go.
So they know that when you have a corporation, when you own a stock in these corporations, when you own corporations, everything that you do with that corporation is some kind of a write-off.
It's a business expense. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what we want to teach our people to do is stop talking about making less so you can pay less. That's not the strategy.
Yeah.
The strategy is to make more so that you can invest more in yourself and your community.
Absolutely.
You can invest more in these not-for-profits that are struggling. You can invest more in our neighborhoods, right?
Yep.
Because you've got more discretionary income now. But I talk to people all the time who say, well, no, I don't want to do this because I don't want my taxes to go up. Well, wealthy people don't worry about their taxes.
They don't worry about it.
Now we see why.
Yep.
When
Exactly.
you have somebody sitting in the White House that's going to give you a break if you make more. The thing that we have to get clear about this country is that more is better. It has always been that way in America.
Absolutely.
It is not about making less or staying under the radar so that you stay in the 15% tax bracket. If you're making $1 million and you're in the 35% tax bracket, guess what? You still got $650,000 to work with.
Yep. That's not bad.
I mean, we got to just start changing our mindset and really improve our money intelligence quotient. And so I like your conversation this morning. I like where you're going with these topics. The only other one that I would add, brother, is we got to talk about education.
Okay.
We got to talk about it from the cradle to the grave, because what's happening to us in education is almost criminal.
Yeah.
In terms of, and I keep saying to my young people that I work with, please don't get it twisted. Education is a business. People are not asking you to go to these colleges and these universities, these private high schools, these public high schools, because they like you. Mm-hmm. There is money in education. People are making trillions of dollars off of us in
Lots
education,
of money.
right? And so that was the only other topic I would add to your top 10. But other than that, I'm right in agreement with on everything that you're talking about. We could walk through this whole list, and I'd be more than willing to talk about any of those topics, because I think you have the right perspective, and I think you're approaching what we need to do annually.
Yes.
To get ourselves in a position to take on this new year. I'm so excited about 2018. I don't know what to do.
Brother, you should be. I mean, you had a phenomenal 2017, and I thank you for the phone call, man, and keep listening and giving us a phone call. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, man. Yeah, great comments by Richard. Let me back up to where he started, and then I'm going to go back to education. He said that he shifted to veganism, in 2017 and lost 65 pounds. I have a friend, close friend of mine, 6'7" brother, carried his weight very well. He said he was close to 300 pounds. I didn't even realize he was close to 300 pounds. He switched to veganism and he lost 40 pounds. I saw that brother last week. We sat down and broke bread and had a conversation. He's currently living in California. And when I saw him, he stood up and took off his coat before he sat down. And I looked, I said, man, you look great. He said, man, I'm a vegan now. And he said, I feel great. I feel lighter. A lot of his health afflictions, a lot of things that had been nagging at him for years, all of it just went away. All based on diet. And those of you who listen to me on a regular basis, you know I talk about your inputs become your outputs. Your inputs become your outputs. And if you put good things into your body, then your ability to deliver with energy, your ability to deliver with clarity, your ability to do the things that you want to do without being exhausted and tired will begin to transform based on how you transform your body, based on how you eat and take care of yourself. So kudos to Richard for sharing that. And then education. I want to say this about education. So I sit on the board. I sit on the board at a community college here in the city, actually Triton College. And one of the things that we discussed last year that really was upsetting to me was the entry exams for students that were coming into the college. And what we were trying to figure out is how do we, one, retain the students as they come into the doors, because it's almost like a revolving door in a lot of these community colleges. So one, how do we retain them? But number two, how do we ensure that they have the math and reading scores they need to actually move straight into college courses? Now, why is that important? That's important because with college courses, you know, you're paying money for a course that will not lead to graduation, right? If you're not in a college course, if you have to take a college prep course or a fundamental math course because you can't take that college 101 math course, then that's money that you're paying at college that you should, you know, basically for information that you should have gathered while you were in high school. And so I said, how is this happening? Like, why are these numbers so low and dismal? And they didn't have the answer for me at that particular meeting. So the next quarter, when we all sat down, they came back with the answer. And the answer was that the state has lowered the requirement for math in high school. So now all you have to do is 3 years of math. Now let's think about this, right? If I do math my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and then I take my senior year off, like anything else, I talked about this all the time. Even if math was a strength, if you stop operating in that strength, if you stop working in that strength will fall off. And so by the time they get into college and they take the prep work or they take the test, they've lost a lot of those skills and they find themselves behind and taking pre-college courses versus the courses they should have been taking. And so here's the thing I'll tell parents. We, as parents, must insist that our children do 4 years of math. It doesn't matter if the state says 3. It doesn't matter if the school says, oh, they don't have to take that one. As a parent, you can insist that your child does 4 years of math, 4 years of reading, and that they're coming out of high school well prepared for college. Because one of the things that we're finding is when they have to take so many prep courses, many of them drop out. And they're not getting that advanced degree, that associate's degree and that bachelor's degree like we would desire for them to. So thanks for those comments. Great comments. Again, for anyone else who's listening who would like to share, the phone number is 773-591-1690. All right, so number 8 is Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, somehow on a Friday in August in Charlottesville, Virginia, it spelled out, that moment spelled out for all of us what many of us had already known. and others have tried to avoid. America is sick. And its sickness is what I would call a multi-generational disease called racism. Now, this disease has always been there. Let's be clear. From the founding of this country, the disease has been there. But at times, the symptoms, they're not readily visible. And 2017 marked a year in America where the symptoms are obvious and easily seen. America is sick. Now, here's the crazy part. I can remember some years back where there would be debate about racism, about whether or not racism was still a factor. And here we are, 2018, and I don't think anybody will debate that racism is a problem in America and that it is probably one of the number one sicknesses of this country, period. And it's something that needs to be addressed. And if this country is going to heal and move forward, that racism is something that this country has to come to terms with. One, how do you come to terms with that? Well, you come to terms with it by actually admitting that America, that you built this country on the back of the institution of racism and slavery. And that because of that, you have basically, in a lot of ways, taken a whole race of people and misused them and mistreated them. And some type of recompense, some type of reparation is necessary. All right. So that's my take on Charlottesville. That's to me, August showed us how sick this country was. I mean, we knew it, but there's no denying it. Number 8 on my list. All right. Okay. Number 7. The California fires. Now, let me talk about the California fires real quick, because I don't believe that unless you are in California, you understand how horrible these fires have been. For some reason, the media shows snippets of it, but I don't think they've really done a good job of helping us understand how terrible these fires are. Now, I'm going to walk through it for you. So by the time I finish number 7, you will be very clear on the devastation that these wildfires are causing in California. Okay, so the wildfires that have ravaged California in 2017, one, they caused historic levels of death and destruction. And get this, nearly 9,000 wildfires have consumed the state. 9,000 wildfires. Actually, over 9,000 wildfires have consumed the state. And they've burned about 1.2 million acres of land. All right. Now, to put that in perspective, that is an area the size of Delaware. You know, a whole state in the Union. And they've destroyed more than 10,000 structures, have killed at least 46 people, and injured more than 40. These California fires. And by the way, as I speak, the fires still burn. They're still burning. Worse yet, check this out. The National Interagency Fire Center, their predictive outlook for 2018 is forecasting above normal large fire potential due to the persistence of dry fuels. Dry fuel is basically the tinder, the grass. So dry fuels, frequent offshore winds from the ocean, and generally unfavorable weather. Now, when they say generally unfavorable weather, I'm going to tell you my interpretation of that is unfavorable weather due to climate change. Okay? So California fires, that's number 7. And it's something that we should be watching, okay, for a number of reasons. One is everybody fighting those fires aren't necessarily firemen. Some of them are prisoners. And I don't think folks know that. So, you know, when you start to ask yourself why some of these things aren't covered in the media the way they should be, or, you know, man, it seems like, you know, fires burning in California would be sensational. Seems like they would have done a deep dive on that in the media. The problem is, if they do a deep dive in the media, people start finding out things about the fires and how we're fighting the fires and the process with the fires that they don't want everybody to know. So stay woke, folks. You know, keep watching and asking questions, because this, my friend, is something that we all should be watching, because it's in California right now. But as weather changes, and global warming is number 3 on my list, as weather continues to change, this can be something that is impacting others in other parts of the country faster than I think we may even anticipate. All right. So, number 7, California fires. All right. Once again, 773-591-1690. The time is 7:48 on the Talk of Chicago. My name is Linal Harris, if you're just joining. Chicago's very own life coach, and you're listening to Inspirational Perspective here on WBON 1690 AM. I am running through the top 10 observations of 2017, and we've already had a great dialogue. Some of the observations that I've already covered: number 10 was the Amazon purchase of Whole Foods. Number 9, cryptocurrency. We talked quite a bit about cryptocurrency. Number 8, Charlottesville, and number 7, California fires, and I'm going to cover number 6 right now. But if you're interested in what I've covered already, you can always catch a rerun of the show on YouTube by following me at Linal Harris, or on the Inspirational Perspective Facebook page, where the show will be posted afterwards. All right, so let's go to number 6. Number 6 is Colin Kaepernick and the NFL. Now, let's talk about the NFL first, because the NFL, in a lot of ways, has been the envy of most professional sports leagues for at least the last decade. And one of the reasons the NFL has been the envy is mainly due to their television ratings and the subsequent television contracts and deals that have come from those ratings. All right. Now, only time will tell, but 2017 looks to have been a pivotal year for the NFL, partly due to Colin Kaepernick's stand to take a knee in 2016, pun intended. Okay. Now, Colin's stand and then his perceived blackballing by the NFL owners resulted in NFL boycotts that appeared to have taken a toll on the NFL's television ratings. Now, let's be clear about the boycotts, because the boycotts have happened from both sides, okay? The boycotts have happened from individuals who can't stand to watch someone protest the Star-Spangled Banner, all right? So that's where some of the boycotts have come from. And then other parts of the boycotts have come from woke and conscious African Americans who have said, wait a second, this doesn't look good, and I refuse to support an organization that is conducting themselves this way when the majority of the players are African American and they're taking a stand for racial injustices and how policing is done in the United States. Okay, so those are the two directions where these boycotts came from. Now, these boycotts, the consequence of the boycotts has been that NFL television ratings are down almost 10%. Well, not almost down. They are down almost 10% in the 2017 regular season. And that's a big deal. Now, let me put this in perspective. In 2017's games were watched by 1.6 million fewer people as compared to previous years. So the question I have, and this is something that we'll have to continue to watch in terms of the NFL, is this the beginning of the end for this sports giant? And when I say the end, maybe the end of their reign, their dominance in terms of sports leagues, right? Because events like the Super Bowl and the playoffs, etc., typically in the past have brought in quite a bit of money. I noticed that last weekend's bowl game brought in the same amount of money as a wild card game, 11.7. And in the past, the NFL would have highly highly exceeded the overall except money earned from something like that. And it's just not, basically college football is almost matched with them in terms of revenues. So this is an interesting thing to watch. Regardless of where you are, I know there's still some people who say, oh man, I'm still watching the NFL. I know when I go into the barbershop, I get picked on because, I didn't watch this season. Oh, you're not watching, you don't know what's going on. Yeah, you're right, I don't know what's going on. And that's how it's going to be right now. Because that's my personal stance. And I share with them every time they have a conversation with me why they should be feeling the same way. But nonetheless, the NFL is on my list at number 6, and it is something that we should continue to watch as we go into 2018. All right? Okay. Number 5. Number 5 on the list is hurricanes. Hurricanes. All right? And I'm not talking about a sports team here. I'm talking about the real deal hurricanes that hit us in 2017. Now, here's why hurricanes made my list for 2017. Because 2017 marked a hostile hurricane season. You had Hurricanes Harvey, Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Jose, Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Ophelia, being the most notable of many of the storms that pounded Mexico, the Caribbean, and the American coastlines. All right? And while Hurricane Harvey is considered to be, the most memorable hurricane of 2017, and part of the reason is because it came so far inland, right? The tropical storm came so far inland, and it basically flooded out, and it had a huge impact on Houston. In my mind, Hurricane Maria has revealed the symptoms of Americans' disease yet again. All right? Now, you might say, well, Linal, what are you talking about? The devastation of Hurricane Maria on Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands was prolific. And it seems that very little has been done by the United States to come to the aid of the citizens of color. All right? Now, that's not just me talking. The New York Times recently shared an article in December about Puerto Rico titled, "The Official Toll in Puerto Rico, 64, all right? The actual deaths may be 1,052. And in this article, what they did is they basically mirrored the death rate in Puerto Rico back in 2016. And then they laid over it the death rate in 2017. So initially they said, all right, 64 people died from the hurricane, which, by the way, is horrible. All right? I mean, in terms of the death rate for hurricanes in any United States territory. All right? So let's be clear about that. But then they laid this over, and they began to find that in parts of Puerto Rico, the death rates for dehydration, sickness, lack of food skyrocketed all throughout the island. And in fact, the death rate might be actually the number I just shared, 1,052. Also, since Hurricane Maria, over 300,000 inhabitants have left the island. So, just because the hurricane hit in September 2017 doesn't mean that in 2018 Puerto Rico doesn't still need our help. So that's number 5 on the list of the observations of 2017. All right, so we're at the top of the hour. For those of you listening, my name is Linal Harris. You've joined Inspirational Perspective. And stick with me going into the 8 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, I'm going to cover my top 4 observations of 2017. I'll run down the list of the top 10, the 6 that I've already covered. By all means, if you have something you want to share in terms of observations that you've had in 2017, you can give me a phone call in the 8 o'clock hour by giving me a call at 773-591-1690. But we're going to take a quick break here, a quick break at the top of the hour, and then we'll be back at 8 o'clock to talk about not just the top observations in 2017, but how you can live your dreams in 2018. So once again, my name is Linal Harris. You've been listening to Inspirational Perspective right here on WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago. All right. So we got a little break. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well this Sunday morning. Had some great calls. Good morning to you. The number to call is 773-591-1690. So,
the talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690
all right.
WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
So for those of you who've been watching, thank you, Kristen. Thank you for that. For those of you who've been watching, by all means, any questions you have, feel free to ask those questions. Thank you for sticking with me this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload for the 8 o'clock hour. So I'm going to reload this. So make sure you check the next feed, the next live video. For Periscope, I'm going to keep it running. But for Facebook, I'm going to reload it because it makes it easier for me to download. All right? So join the next feed, and I appreciate you guys for watching.